Simplified Chaos, Episode 40.
Life is beautiful and full of chaos.
And it can get slightly out of hand if that shit's not tamed.
We're here to share how to simplify the little things to help you lead a more intentional life.
This is Simplified Chaos.
Hey, wonderful friends. Welcome to Simplified Chaos. This is Jillian, one of your hosts, and I'm with my husband, Nicholas.
What's going on, folks? Another great episode lined up for you today. Jilly, what are we talking about?
You sound less like a game show host today. I'm
I
grateful
went
for
for
that.
a little less game show hosty today.
It was scaring me last episode.
I know. I was a little over the top.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming back, Nick. Authentic, realistic Nick, not
back,
game
baby.
show host Nick. Today's episode is pretty exciting. It's all about why we like time apart from each other and the benefits of it, and
Baby, I
how
think we should spend some time apart.
and how we do it. Because I think sometimes we can talk about the benefits of it, but trying to make it consistent without partners being upset or mad at each other for having time apart, I think is important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is kind of good timing because you just spent some time apart from me last weekend.
Yes,
So
it's
it's
very
fresh in our minds, and we figured why not
It's in real
talk
time.
about this. So, yeah.
Yes.
Life in Real Time by
Yes.
Simplified Chaos.
Oh my gosh.
There's your game show host.
No more,
Anyways,
no more.
before we dive into the topic, as always, we're going to show a little gratitude today. Jilly, what are you grateful for?
Today I am grateful for friendships. I was
Friendships
able
are
to
awesome.
Yes,
We have a lot of great friendships.
it's weird. I feel like I had a lot of friends in high school, but then they slowly the numbers dwindled down, and now I really appreciate quality over quantity.
Yeah.
And I had an awesome day with one of my friends, Ashley, shout out. And you were so kind to watch Lucille for about 4 hours. And Ashley and I went to Camden Yards. She was able to go on the field and hit balls, which was really cool
That
to
is
watch.
awesome. I'm jealous.
We had lunch and we just strolled around Baltimore, and it was such a nice time to connect and just see where she's at, and just to kind of get that human to human connection. I feel like sometimes we forget we can let it go aside because we connect all the time on Instagram or through texting. And I think just making time to see that person is really important, and we're pretty consistent at it, and I appreciate her a lot.
And you got a nice day too. Like, it was overcast when you guys
Yes.
were outside at Camden Yards before the sun came out and up the temperature by 15 degrees, and the humidity here was just out of control. But
True.
No, it's nice that you got good weather and you were able to take some time to go up there and hang out with Ashley and go down on Camden Yards field. They don't allow a lot of people down there, so it's pretty nice.
It was a beautiful day too. You're right.
Yeah.
What about you?
So I am grateful for leftover crabs. The good kind. The kind you eat. Chesapeake Bay
You can't
crabs.
wash off crabs, honey.
Well, some people try. But yeah, your mom texted us this evening and said, we have some leftover crabs from the crab feast. They were really good, a little on the spicy side. And I was like, she's like, do you want them? And I was like, there's a couple people in this house who would love to have some, including myself. So yeah, bring them on over. So it was a nice, after dinner treat, because we had just finished up having steaks and chicken and vegetables on the
We had
grill
quite
tonight.
the feast
We had
tonight.
quite the feast. So I am a little full, feeling good. Had a couple crabs, so it's this, and this is the best time of year for them. Like September, October, they are fat, meaty, and delicious.
Yum.
Yes. So yeah, I am grateful for drop-off crabs, leftover crabs.
Drop off crabs.
Yes.
It just sounds so
I
weird.
didn't even have to go anywhere. They were delivered right to the kitchen table,
And they were free.
and they're free. Yeah, crabs can be a little pricey for those who have never experienced it before.
Blue crab. Blue
Yes.
Maryland crab.
Yes. So, without further ado, let's dive into today's topic. Jilly, how do you want to get this thing started?
I thought we would start with the why.
God, I can't stand you.
Why we plan time apart And I think before it was kind of just subconscious, but I find that the more we do it, the more we're reflecting on, wow, time apart makes me appreciate you even more. Why are you giving me that weird look?
Oh, I'm just looking normal.
Oh my God, you have this perplexed look.
Is this the hat?
No,
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Bad
if,
radio.
If only you guys could see this. Oh crap!
Focused,
now
honey.
I forgot what I was talking about. No, it's just now, like after the weekend that I had, it was a bachelorette party with just a bunch of really cool
Not
ladies.
many more of those left.
No, but it makes me, because I had such an amazing time with those ladies, connecting with them and being in nature, and it made
Where'd you
me.
go?
I went to Deep Creek.
There you go.
Yeah.
Deep Creek, Maryland.
I mentioned that last
beautiful.
episode. It is, but I missed you guys, and it's not like I don't miss you, like I'm at work, but I really miss you and
Yeah.
Lucille, and I think everyone needs a little bit of. I enjoy missing you guys a little bit more than usual. It makes the heart grow fonder, like they say.
It certainly does.
Yeah, and it's nice. It kind of reminds me of what it was like before I got married and before I was a mom, and I think it's important to remember who you are.
Yeah.
Like, who is Jillian? When you become a mom and a wife, I feel like your roles
You were somebody before you were a mom and a wife, and you have to kind of go back and find that person. And
Yes.
it's more of a personal reflection. And like you said, it really kind of makes you understand and appreciate what you have in life, but at the same
Yes.
time you do need to recharge those batteries and remember who you were before all of this and who you still are. It's not that you aren't that person. But
I've just evolved.
you
but
had
yes.
a long life of you being independent, almost 30 years of being independent, and then all of a sudden we're now a unit.
Yes.
And so you have to kind of go back and be like, oh yeah, this is who Jill was, but this is who Jill still is.
I think it's hard to
Or Nick,
remember.
in my case.
I think it's hard to remember, that who the person you were when you're always in that environment, when you're like, when I'm always around you, or Lucille, it's like I'm a mom and a wife and I'm a teacher. Like that's who I am. I feel like sometimes you have to step out of those environments and getting away from you and into a completely different setting, and just even hanging out with friends that I used to hang out with when I was in high school. Like it immediately takes me back to, this is who I'm still the same person, but I'm different at the same time, and just reflecting on making sure that I'm happy and I'm the best version of me, so that when I come back to you guys, I am just ready for anything.
Yeah. And, let's, be honest. It's tough being a mom. It's tough being a husband sometimes, although I try to make it as easy as possible. But, it is good to get away from that and recharge your batteries and come back fresh. I feel like it gives you a little extra life when it comes to getting back to the family unit. So, I'm glad that you were able to get away and have fun with some lifelong friends, really, which is, is a lot of people who can't say that they have like lifelong friends, but you have such great friends. So it was nice that you were able to do that.
It was. And, I'm not saying that you have to have like a long weekend getaway to have all these benefits, but
right.
It could be an hour by yourself.
Sure.
Or with friends, or it could be a half day, or it could be a full day, or it could be a whole weekend. So I think it's just important that you check in with yourself.
Yeah. I
realize
wrote down a couple
that, hey,
things that, that I do, just for maybe a couple hours a day or something like that. But, there's times where I'll go out and I'll play golf with my friends. That's easily 5 hours, that's a half a day. Sometimes we'll do, yard or, like chores. Like I helped Dave with that swing set last year, and that was basically 2 days apart. Just because it took way much more time than we thought it would. We were like, yeah, we're going to get this thing done in 4 hours. Yeah, it took 11 hours to get that thing done. I've also done fantasy football or baseball. Those are good 3 or 4 hours times apart. Then, also, I haven't done this in a while, but even business trips is a time to kind of get away. Even though you're working and stuff like that, it's a time where you're not working the full 24 hours that you're gone or anything like that. So you do get some time for yourself and, to be with coworkers, whether it's going out to dinner or something like that, or grabbing a couple drinks afterwards. It's still just time away.
And I'm noticing now that I'm a mom, it can be really easy to get into that mindset of guilt when you leave. Like, oh my God, I'm a horrible mom because I'm leaving my child and I feel okay about it. But I've kind of reframed it in that I shouldn't feel guilty for doing something that's going to make me a better version of me.
Right.
And I want to be the best Jill that I can be. So I immediately like throw the guilt out the way because I know that this is a good thing for me. It's going to recharge me or refuel me to have the best mindset and the best tools to act in whatever comes my way, because life's hard, and Lucille's throwing us a ton of curveballs. And I want to be prepared for that and not reactive in a way that I'm going to regret.
Well, and you want to show Lucille your best self at all times.
I want to show her the real me, and it's a version that's, I don't want to say it's the best version of me all the time, but I want to show her that I'm human too, and that I make mistakes, and that I think by doing this, we're showing Lucille how we remain more positive and the best versions of us is by having time away, so that way we can work on ourselves and then come back ready to do whatever we need to do.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that doing this, it's a very good role model for Lucille that, like, hey, you don't have to feel guilty about leaving us for a couple of days or a week. Like, you do you, and then come back and it's like, hey, I missed you. Hey, I feel great. Hey, I'm ready to tackle whatever life has to throw at me. And I think
that's a very good point, because I think it's not just us who need to do that, but sometimes it is the kids too, whether it's a sleepover or something like that, and they have to experience real world experiences without us holding their hand, quote, the whole time. So, we definitely need to, if we're gonna do the same thing, we need to make sure that we're reciprocating, and when she gets older, that she has her freedom to do those kinds of things as well. And she's gonna need time apart from us. So.
And I guess now that I'm thinking about my word choice, I don't want to say the best version of me. I want to say that I want to be the most authentic me. And I think by having time apart, it makes me be who I want to be and show Lucille all sides of me and how I deal with everything in the best headspace that I can.
Yeah. Because, there are going to be times where we're stressed out or just life is, happening.
Yes. And I want to show her,
react in ways that we probably would try to react a little bit differently if we had time to think about it, but we're human, and we're gonna make mistakes, or we're gonna act in a certain way just based on how we're feeling, and they need to know that it's okay.
Absolutely.
And that sometimes that when we say things, we really don't mean it. It's just something that's in the moment at that time. So yeah, I like that, being authentic.
Yeah. So, well, we kind of listed some of the benefits, but...
Well, I want to talk more about benefits.
You do? Okay. Yeah. But before we talk about benefits, I wanted to talk about how.
Yeah.
I think before it kind of just happened where a lot of our friends were getting married, so we were going to bachelor parties, bachelorette parties.
I would say that was a majority of the time that we were spending apart, is like there was a lot of people just getting married. You hit that certain point of your life and it's just like, oh, you got a bachelor party twice a year that you're going to, or you have a bachelorette party you're going to twice a year. So there's 4 weekends there in a year that you're apart.
But now that we are getting older and our friends are married and they're having kids, I think it gets a little bit more challenging on, making it a priority that you have time apart. And I think that now realizing that, I want to plan like once a month, and I've kind of done this subconsciously, but once a month I see a girlfriend and I hang out with her and I say, hey Nick, is it okay if I go grab dinner with so-and-so? And you're like, yeah, fine. And that's maybe 2-3 hours, but that's time apart from you. And it's so vital. And like when I come back, I am like just better.
Yeah.
I'm better all around.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing. Like I'll go out, with a coworker or something after work. I've done that a few times. I've got my close friends that, we'll go out and grab a beer or watch a ball game or do something together. So, yeah, I know I've got plans coming up on November 3rd, which is a Sunday night, to go to a football game, watching the Ravens play the Patriots. And hopefully we kick the shit out of Tom Brady. God, he's so good. But
he's so beautiful, too.
Well, I'll reserve that for your judgment. But, no, he's a good football player. But I love beating the Patriots. And so Sunday night football, in Baltimore. I've gone to a couple of Sunday night and Monday night games with some friends in the past, and they've just been a blast. But yeah, I mean, it'll be an evening away from you guys. You know, we'll probably get up to the field, you know, around 6 o'clock maybe, and then, you know, we'll be home probably a little bit after midnight. So, you know, it's a solid, 6 hours.
Yeah, and now that that's probably the last bachelorette party that I will be going to for a long time, it's now that I'm aware of it and I'm conscious about it, now I'm looking at my calendar, and every month I want to make sure that I have some kind of date with a friend or a weekend planned where I'm hanging out with someone other than you.
Yeah.
And I know that kind of sounds weird, and before I feel guilty, like, oh man, I'm leaving Nick and I'm leaving my daughter, but I think that it's important to make time apart so that way we appreciate each other more.
Yeah. Well, and reflecting back on this past weekend, one of the great things is, obviously you're still a food source for Lucille, and so she has, I think, a little bit more of a dependency on you rather than me. And so for this past weekend, it was great just being with her, and she's at that stage where she either needs to be with me full time, she needs to be with you full time, or she needs to be with her grandmother full time. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, if she's left with somebody else, I mean, all hell could break loose. She might just have, be grumpy the entire time. So she's at that dependency stage on at least one of us, but you a little bit more just because you're still a food source for her. You're, a source of comfort for her when she, has a bad day, just because you have that special bond with your boobs in her mouth.
I think you have a special bond when my boob's in your mouth.
Well, yes, that too.
I just went there.
You did. But, it was great spending the weekend, and it's exhausting. It really is. But I mean, I loved every second of it. It was just like I had a chance to like be with her, from the time that you left on Friday evening until the time you came back Sunday afternoon. I was like, she was dependent on me. Mm-hmm. And it's a great feeling. It's great to just, have that, bond with her and be able to spend that time with her, because, when it's both you and I in the room, I mean, she gravitates towards you a little bit more just because of the relationship and that you guys have. So it was great having that. And the other side of the coin is it just really makes me appreciate everything that you do as a mom with Lucille. And, we couldn't do this without each other. I mean, for anybody who's listening, who's a single mom or a single parent, I mean, you have my complete and utter respect, and I don't know how you do it, but, you guys are awesome. You guys rock. It's, I don't know how you do it, but keep on doing it.
Keep on doing it.
Doing it.
Doing it.
Doing it.
And I just want to make this known that when I say, like, get away from your partner and time apart, and I know I went to a bachelorette party, I'm not going out and, like, getting shit-faced.
No.
And that's how I'm, like, refueling. Like, to me, that's not refueling. I refuel by either being out in nature or connecting with friends or just having time to relax and just be. It's not doing all of this really harmful stuff to my body. And I mean, I like a good cocktail, and I can be very happy with just having one and relaxing. I'm not getting drunk like I used to in the past and just getting hammer faced and saying, yeah, I'm refueling. This is self-care. It's like not like that at all.
No, because the next day is hell if you drink too much. I mean, we're not in our 20s anymore,
well, now,
and we have somebody that we're responsible for, helping along the way. So we can't wake up the next day and be just completely useless. It's not fair to our partner. It's not fair to our daughter. So we have to, do things responsibly. Even when we're away, we feel like we need to do things responsibly.
Well, and I just value my body in a whole nother light. Like, I know so much more about how to take care of my body and how to treat it the right way. And I don't even want to go back doing things. I mean, I'm woke. I'm not as ignorant as I was before.
Right.
So it's like, it's hard to do all that negative stuff to my body, knowing that, like, wow, I'm damaging my body in a lot of ways by living that way. And I want to have energy the next day. I want to wake up early and have coffee. Like, I want to do normal things, even if I were with you and Lucille. Like, I crave routine, and I also crave spontaneity, but I don't want anything to get in the way of not making me feel energetic and be in a good mood. So when I say get away and relax and have fun away from my partner, I don't mean partying. Like that's just, some people may, but it's not for me. But so getting into the benefits, it's one of the benefits is not getting shit-faced. So I'm just letting you know that. But I do have, what you talked about, is just I appreciate Nick so much more when he's away and I'm with Lucille. And even when before Lucille was here, I mean, it made me appreciate you just being around. Like your presence makes me feel happy. It's when you're gone, there's an emptiness in my life. It sounding really cheesy, but
it's true though. I feel the same way.
And I like alone time, but when you have so much alone time, it's like I really miss your companionship and just knowing that you're here and in the house. And even if you might be doing something else, it's just I miss your presence. And I don't know, you have such a great energy that I feel the loss when you're not here.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. Like, there's a reason why we connected, and we connected from that very first date. And you're my buddy, you're my partner, you're the person I can lean on and talk to about anything. Like, so when you're not here and if there's something going on, of course we can talk on the phone, but like at the same time, I think we both do a good job of respecting that, we're away and away from each other and kind of recharging. So, we try not to like text each other all the time. And, I'm not sitting by the phone waiting for you to call or anything like that. Like we're both very good at just letting each other experience what it is that they're experiencing and kind of leave it on the person who is away to make that reach out, like to either make that phone call or do that first text message. It's not like, hey, what are you doing when the person's gone? Why haven't you texted me back or anything like that? I'm like, no, Jill's out there having a great time. I'm not going to ruin that with anything. I might send you a picture of Lucille if she did something funny or cute. And when you have a chance to look at it, you'll look at it and maybe smile or laugh.
No, but you're right.
That's it. Yeah. We're not hounding each other while we're gone either.
And when we first started dating and I would have time apart from you, at first I thought it was weird. I'm like, wow, I'm away. And like, I haven't talked to Nick. It's strange because I guess all my relationships in the past, they were pretty unhealthy now that I look back, and there was a lot of insecurity and trust issues, and that's why I think that I was talking to my partners every time I would get away time, but it really wasn't time away if I'm always connecting with them via text messages or phone calls. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't even think about that. When we have time apart, we really don't, like, we let each other breathe and have that space to connect with whoever we're with. And I think that's also important, especially with the way technology is now. It's so easy to message people and get, ask them questions while they're away, but we really let each other have that space and time apart.
Yeah.
Technology-wise and physical part, so.
Yeah, I will say, that I never had like that jealousy thing. Like if you ever wanted to go out and hang out, I'm not like, where is she at? Who's she with or whatever. It's just like, I felt like our bond is just so deep that I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about that. Like, I know I don't have to worry about that, which is, a great feeling. Like that's one less thing to worry about in this life where you have to worry about so much, that's one less thing that I have to worry about. And again, I know who you're going out with and stuff like that. And I love the people that you hang out with. You have awesome friends and there's no reason for me to check in on you every hour. It's not.
Well, that's another benefit as well. I find that I disconnect more from technology when I'm away with my girlfriends.
Yes.
Because I haven't seen them in such a long time, or we might be at a new place. I find that I don't look at my phone and I am just able to be present and just enjoy the moment. And I'm not always looking to do something on Instagram. I'm in a different zone. I'm not like in work mode. I'm not in podcast mode. I'm not in let me talk to Nick mode. It's just I'm in connecting mode with whoever I'm with and appreciating that time apart because I know it doesn't happen all the time. So I really cherish that space.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, it's not just disconnecting from me or Lucille. I mean, it's disconnecting from like you said, everything. Like, there's a lot of work that goes into what we're doing with this. And, you are a rock star when it comes to, putting stuff out there on social media, on Instagram and everything like that. And you're always thinking about this when you're not thinking about me or Lucille, this is the next thing, or work even, there's kind of the hierarchy of things to think about. But I mean, it's all connected, and this is your chance to disconnect and, relax. And you should, you work so hard that you've earned that, and you deserve it.
And I mentioned this previously, but another benefit is that I feel like I'm just able to reconnect with who I am.
Yeah.
Not as a mom, not as a wife, not as a teacher, not as a podcaster. It's just back to the basics. It's just me. And I think we have to be really comfortable with loving who we are without any attachments or thinking of ourselves in any roles, because we came into this world with ourselves and we're going out in the world with ourselves. So I think that just getting back to the basics of just loving ourselves and having that time and space to just appreciate who we are, I think it's really important for our relationship.
Yeah. And I think you bring up a good point too, is you have your certain things that you do when you have your time alone, and I have my certain things that I do when I have my time alone. And so we encourage you when you do have your time away, be yourself. Like what we're doing, works for us. What works for you works for you. What works for me, but it might not work for you guys. But if there's something that you like doing that you want to do while you're away from your partner, go ahead and do that. Like, again, it's about finding yourself, reconnecting with yourself. And then again, coming back with the realization that, you've got a great thing back at home.
And I think not judging your partner about what they do with their time apart. For instance, I may want to go for a walk or hang out with a girlfriend at a coffee shop, whereas Nick may want to have a beer and watch a game with his friend. And I'm not
fantasy football.
Who am I to judge him with how he spends his time and what works best for him? So I feel like just trying to stay in my own lane. I know that we are a unit and a partnership, but I have to worry about me first, and I know me best, so I'm going to do what I think is best, and I'm going to let you do what you think is best for you, because I don't know what's best for you. It may look a certain way to me, but you know what? I don't know the whole story, and everyone's so unique and different. So I think by just staying in our own lane when it is our time, just letting it go with whatever they want to do.
There's no judgment at all.
Yeah.
And that's another great point. Is you go out and I have, like I said, I have my things that I like doing, like fantasy football or golf, or like you said, just going out to a bar and watching a game with my buddies. Like that's things that I like doing. So yeah, there's no judgment there, and we're all good for it.
I think the last one I had was just, and we mentioned this too, I think this is very entangled, but we're going to repeat it again, is just the ability
it's worth repeating
to recharge and reconnect with people, because it's very difficult in this world to remember that we can meet face to face and have conversations. We don't have to text all the time.
Right.
Even though it's easier, I find that you get more value and more health benefits out of physically being with that person. So being able to reconnect with people face to face, or with nature, or just with yourself. Yeah.
There's no saying that you don't have to be with other people. You can go away by yourself even if you wanted to, and just reconnect. So
for sure.
Yeah, you don't have to have any activities planned or anything like that. But yeah. So do you have any resources you want to share with the folks?
I do. I have a resource. It was kind of last minute because I'm like, crap, I don't have a resource, but I love providing some type of resource for people to have access to, just because we are not by any means relationship coaches or professionals. We are just two people
sharing our experiences
of what's working for us and what's simplifying our life to be happier and healthier. But I did find this person on Instagram, and her name is Sylvie. And I don't even want to butcher her last name, but we will tag her Instagram handle in the show notes. But she is actually a relationship coach, and she is all about kind of helping couples have healthier boundaries. And she has some really interesting posts. And one of the posts was a quote, and it said, "When our primary needs aren't tended to, they will come out sideways." And I thought that was interesting.
Say that again.
When our primary needs aren't tended to, they will come out sideways.
So explain that to me.
So this is my interpretation, is that when we're not taking care of ourselves, when we're not making time to refill ourselves, we're not authentically who we want to be. When we come out sideways, it means we're maybe more reactive, or we may say something because we're not us. We're not who we want to be. It's like the upside down. That's how I interpret it. But anyway, she has a ton of posts of just quality content about the issues with setting boundaries and how difficult it is setting boundaries for yourself and for others. And I just got a lot of, I was just scrolling through her thing for about 5 minutes, and I was like, I can't pick which post is more important because she has so much great content. But we will probably be sharing some of it on our Instagram as well, because
check it out.
She talks about different attachment styles, and it was interesting reading the different attachment styles. And I think it's cool to kind of go back and reflect to see what kind of attachment style I am. And if you're not at the attachment style you want to be, which is like the secure attachment style, kind of like, what do I need to do to make sure that I am in that space, that I am feeling secure and trusted, and I'm feeling the best that I can. So yeah, that's my resource.
Cool. So let's give some folks some actions they can take.
Yes. So your take action challenge for today, this episode, is just make time for you.
Yeah.
Whatever that may look like. It could be a weekend getaway. It could be a simple coffee date, or it could just be, a little walk by yourself. So whatever it is, make it a priority.
Start short and then work your way to bigger, longer time apart. Yeah.
Schedule that shit.
Yeah.
Schedule it.
Google Calendar.
Or a paper calendar if you're like me.
I'm really forcing you with this Google Calendar thing. I know it's against your grain.
It's not against. I don't mind it. It's just not my go-to.
Yeah.
Sorry.
For somebody who's about the environment, you sure do waste a lot of paper. I'm kidding.
No, you're
I'm
not.
just trying to get a rise.
Nick, I need some time apart because I'm feeling a certain way.
Already wants time apart. All right. Well, now that we've given them the take action challenge, it's time for that quote of the day, Jilly. What you got for us?
Our quote of the day is anonymous because I couldn't find who said it.
Anonymous.
But I dug it, so I'm going to read what I found. Healthy relationships are so magnificent. However, you always need time on your own. Pillars of a temple stand apart, but work together.
Very true. That's really good.
I thought so.
3 pillars right here.
We are. They're a tripod.
We're a tripod.
We are.
Yeah. We just need that 4th pillar.
What the hell does that mean?
Well, I think you know what that means.
If you want to bear a child, by all means.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
That doesn't mean we have to have a baby.
4 pillars.
Listen, I just watched my sister give birth. I need some time before I decide if I even want to do that again. I may only want one.
I am teasing you.
And I'm going to give you shit anyway because that's what we do.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Anything else?
No.
All right. Folks, we want to thank you for listening. We love you guys. Make sure you go on, give us a review on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music. It really helps us reach a larger audience. Thank you so much again for listening, and we will talk to you again next week.
See you later, guys.
We want to thank everybody for listening today. Please be sure to subscribe and sign up to receive notifications so you know when the next episode is live. If you like today's episode and know someone who could benefit from the topic we covered, please share it with them. And if you have any suggestions for us and want to chime in on today's topic, you can email us at simplifiedchaospodcast@gmail.com, and that's chaos with a K, or send us a comment on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you next time.